Good day. Today we are going to be looking at using PowerPoint as a readily available illustrating software. Obviously, it's a presentation software. There are better illustrating softwares out there like Inkscape and Adobe Illustrator. However, you probably already have PowerPoint, and it's actually quite easy to use with a smaller learning curve than those other ones. That said, if you are going to be doing a lot of illustration, then actually learning a real illustrating software is a good thing to do. But let's look at PowerPoint, and we're going to do some basics. So I've got a blank slide, and of course I need a project. And let's go for making, say, a diagram on kinetic energy. So I'll do three pictures, maybe of a rock falling off a cliff, and we can talk about kinetic energy. So I've got PowerPoint open. You'll notice I also have Word open. And of course, that's the video recording software. But for doing this one, I'm going to start off and let's make ourselves a cliff. So I've got a bunch of box options over here. This is under the Home tab. So I'm going to grab just a square, whatever I want to do for a shape. I'll put in my square, and it's blue. I don't want blue. So I'm going to go over here to Shape Fill. I want a brown. I don't like this brown, so I'll go for more colors. I don't know, something brown-like. That's kind of yellow. It's always fun trying to find a good brown. Okay, there we go. So I got a good brown there. Now, I still have that blue outline, so I could just make it the same color if I want to, which, hey, sounds good. I could instead put no outline. No big deal on that one. Okay, so I got one of my cliffs. I'm going to Control-C, Control-V to make my other cliff. Of course, I want it shorter, so I'm going to use the boxes to make it a different size. So there we go. Got some cliff, but, let's flare this up a bit, make it look good. So let's start with some grass. So I'm going to go for another box, kind of do this Minecraft-like. So I'll put another box on there. Once again, grass is usually not blue. So I'll do Shape Fill. I'll pick a green that I like, which is always fun trying to find a good green. And you know what? Same thing for the shape outline. Control-C, Control-V. I'll stick that over here. Notice how PowerPoint's giving you a couple of lines as you're doing this, kind of lining things up. If I want to get zoom in, I can zoom in a bit more down here, use my boxes, use my wheel to move things over a bit. Okay, so I've got a cliff. Okay, so right in here, I notice I've got a little bit of clipping going on, so I'm going to zoom in real tight, and then I'm just going to kind of pull this over to a little bit better spot for me. And yeah, so it's trying to jump in on that one. Sometimes it helps to take off the outline, gives you a better lineup. If it's being real temperamental, hit Control, and then just kind of tab over. That moves it real nice and slow. So I can go over there, I can go over here. Look, it's lined up nicely. So, okay, that looks good. I'm going to zoom out a bit more. And let's go ahead. I want to put in a tree here. So I'm going to make myself a tree. So I'm just going to go for a box. And I'm going to put that on top of the grass. And then, some kind of brown tree colored. Let's go custom color. We'll go kind of, once again, brown. Yeah, that looks tree-ish. Trees aren't blue, so, let's just make that the same color. Once again, Control. I'm going to tab up just a little bit. Use the arrow keys. Arrow keys for your fine control. Mouse for your coarse controls. Okay, so now, of course, I want some leaves on my tree, so I'll make a circle. And then, yay. Let's make that, not blue. Yeah, that works. And then once again, I'm going to do shape outline the same. Now, that's a perfectly good tree. I could do that, but I can get a little bit fancy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one of those kind of weird umbrella-shaped trees. The ones where the person with the pruning saw got a little bit aggressive. So I'm going to draw a box. I'm just going to kind of make a box over here. I'm going to set the outline to no outline. I'm going to set the shape fill to white. Same as my background, so it looks like nothing's there. Okay, I'm just going to shrink that in there just a little bit. Now, here's the catch, though. You can't see anything there. So I'm going to click on my tree trunk. I'm going to right-click on it, and I'm going to hit Bring to Front. And I can go Bring to Back, etc. And now I'm able to see the tree trunk. So now the box is hiding the bottom part of my circle. And then I can move the box down a little bit. Looks like it needs to go up just a smidge, actually. And I'll take the circle, move that up a little bit. Okay, I got my funny looking tree. So I'm going to click on these 3 components, just so they don't get all scrambled. I'm going to right-click, hit group, and I'm going to say group. So now I've got myself a tree. Next up, I guess I need a rock. So I'll put my rock over here. I'll use the arrow keys to get in the right spot. It's a pretty weird shaped rock, so I'm going to shrink that down, make it a little bit circular. And once again, blue rock. PowerPoint likes the color blue. Anyways, I will make that gray. And the outline, let's go for the same. Now, okay, so I've got that one. By the way, while I'm on the rock, let me show you a couple of interesting options. I'll make the outline something crazy. If I right-click on the outline, I go to the Format Shape, brings up me this nice little menu. I can hit Line, so I can change the color. I can change the thickness of the outline if I want. I can make it a dotted outline. You know, I can do a whole lot of different things to this. Change the style of the lines if I want. You know, quite a few choices. But frankly, I don't, so I'm going to go there. I'm just going to make that outline something sane, like 1 point, and let's go for, you know, gray. Not dotted. Why do I have dotted? There we go. Okay, so I have myself a nice little rock. I can hit the X to get rid of it. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. I'm going to zoom out a little bit to just get a kind of a general feel for it. Playing with the zoom is something I'm going to be doing a lot. Now, I want to add some text, so I'll do, okay, some text over here. Say this is 100% kinetic energy. No, potential energy. What am I thinking? It's not moving yet. Okay, you know, I'm talking about potential energy. I want to give the equation for potential energy. Usually I want to pull up Word for the equation editor. Word's equation editor is a little bit better than PowerPoint, so you can just cut and paste into it. So I'm going to go Word. I'll do Insert, Equation. And then I can simply type in, you know, potential energy. I've got all the kinds of weird operators I want, so I'll just do an equal sign, or I could hit equal sign. Potential energy equation is pretty easy, so that's mass times gravity times height. Boom, we're done. Now, while we're doing this, let me go down a couple ones, and I'm going to need kinetic energy anyhow, so I might as well just do that now. So I'll go Insert, Equation, and so that's going to be kinetic energy equals, it's 1/2 mv squared. Now, I could just do 1/2 mv, where's that caret, squared like that, but that actually doesn't look very good. So I'm going to clean that up a bit. I'm going to use the equations one. So first off, that half. Let's look better than 1/2 would be 1 actually over the 2. So I hit the fraction, and I choose the one that has the over, so the stacked fraction. And then in the box, I'm going to go 1. And then below that, I'm going to put the 2. Okay, so I got my half now. Then I've got my m, and I want to do my v squared, but that I actually want that superscripted. So I'm going to go over here to the script. I'm going to hit this guy. I'll put the V in that box and the 2 up in that box. And of course, as you saw, there's a bunch of different ways you can do scripting if you want to. So it gets nice and creative. So there is my kinetic energy equation. It looks much nicer than, you know, just typing it all on the line. Well, let me grab this top one, highlight it over, and let's dump that on the PowerPoint. Okay, so I've got this guy. Yeah, I don't know. I'll put that there. Okay, so I've got the beginnings of an equation, so that looks good. That's probably my first figure, so I'm just going to click on my slide as a whole, Control-C, Control-V, duplicate the slide, and now I can start modifying things. So now this one, I'm going to take my rock, I'll put it about halfway down there. This is now 50% potential energy, Control-C, Control-V, line them up, look at my grid lines, and then that would be 50% kinetic energy also. And just make life easy, I'll grab both of those and go ahead and group them. And I'll move that down here somewhere. Okay, of course it's moving, so I want to do a couple little streaks, so I'll do some lines. I don't want touching, but you know, that looks good. I'll right-click on this line, Format Shape. Let's make this gray also. I don't know, I'll go for a nice dark gray. Let's make it a little bit thicker, you know. And once again, I got all the kinds of options there. I can do, you know, arrows. If I wanted to do a curvy line, I could grab one of my curvy lines over here. Once again, stick an arrow on it if I want to, an arrow at the other end if I want to, weird tail, that kind of stuff if I want. Got no idea why I want this, so I'm just going to get rid of it. Anyway, so I got my line over there. And of course, who puts one motion line on? That's kind of crazy. I'm just using my arrow keys to get this in the right spot. And then, you know, okay, so that looks good. Arrow keys are great for fine control. Makes your life a little bit easier. Let's go. Yeah, this should be good for the last one. Okay. No, I don't want one more. Okay. Now, on this one, I want some kinetic energy, so I'll go over here, grab my kinetic energy one. I'll plop that in there, and I don't know, I'll just kind of stick that over here. That looks good to me. Okay, so now I've got my second scene done, looking okay. So I'll go ahead, click on the slide, Control-C, Control-V. So I got my third scene. Might as well get rid of the potential energy and get rid of that. I'll just ungroup this thing, group, ungroup. Get rid of the potential energy one, make this 100% kinetic energy. I'll take these guys, highlight them all, move them closer to the ground. Usually I put them right on the ground and then just a couple of taps up. If you hold down Control, it moves little tiny steps. It's always nice. And you know what? I'm actually going to get rid of these guys. Just leave the one because I want this guy to be longer. So I'm just going to kind of drag him up. Okay, and then now I can copy him over. Once again, I can use my mouse, I can use my arrow keys, depends on how I want to go for it. I'm going to use arrow keys, just kind of spread them out a little bit more. Mouse for rough, arrow keys for smooth. Okay, of course you can zoom in if you want a little bit more fine work. Okay, so that looks good. It looks like a project to me. So now I'm going to get ready to use them. So I'll do File, Save As, land it somewhere, I don't know, desktop. Now I'm going to take PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to check something else. I've got a couple of image styles. So I can do GIF, JPEG. I usually do PNG. Tends to work best for me. But, you know, you got a couple ones. Windows Media File, also a real nice one, especially if you want to do some vector graphics with it. I'll do some PNG. And then I'll hit Save. Do you want to export? I want to do all the slides. Obviously, if you just want to do one, that's fine. And it says it's been exported, so it's now living on my desktop. So I can open this up. I've got my slides. And I can stick them wherever I want. So I can open up Word, of course, get rid of that. Grab my 3 slides, dump them into Word. They're there. They got a lot of white space, but you know what? That's what cropping's for. So I'll do Format, Crop, and then I'll prune this down so it looks good. And I'll just repeat on the next one. Just about done. Okay, so I've got something that looks like a project going on over here. Looks like I got my order a little bit switched, so let's get this down there. Yeah, that looks better, doesn't it? Okay, so yeah, we're good to go. With that, talk to you later.